Prepare for something incredibly shocking and unheard of. An objective, unbiased viewpoint. Since the word spirit and ghost are synonymous, everyone who believes we have a spirit believes in ghosts. Spirits of departed folks perceived by the living would be poltergeists. However, I use the familiar term ghosts. There are two general camps. One promotes belief with supporting arguments while ignoring facts that contradict belief. Oftentimes, unsubstantiated rumors prevail instead of facts. The other promotes disbelief with supporting arguments while ignoring facts that support belief. But unlike others who stubbornly push the position they already believe, I follow the evidence wherever it leads. Although I've always believed in an afterlife, I considered believing in ghosts synonymous with being stupid and gullible. I'm a rationalist and fan of those who expose science myths, fake mediums, and various scams. Despite disbelieving in ghosts, subsequent claims of others caused me to re-examine the evidence with a critical eye. Spirits in afterlife. Since limbs, faces, bones, blood, and organs are successfully transplanted from others, yet recipients are still the same people, no more or less, we cannot be any of these parts alone. The heart, supposedly from which springs decision-making and emotion, allegedly sends more signals to the body than the brain. However, one can live without a fleshly heart by having a mechanical heart. Many assert that the brain is exclusively the true person, no more or less, since brains cannot be transplanted. However, human brains are by far the most complicated physical structures in existence. Inability to successfully transplant brains could be due to limited technology. After sitting dormant for years, computer hard drives have complete function totally independent of any screens, keyboards, speakers, mice, and printers by simply plugging them in. Likewise, after sitting dormant, automobile engines function independently of the car simply by igniting the spark plugs. I saw one in action. A mechanic had a V8 engine revving on a stand, violently shaking with flames shooting out. Yet, you can never restart one brain cell, let alone a full brain. Besides, a child born with no brain, anencephaly, lived for 3 years. That's the condition. Anencephaly is the condition. Electrical impulses course through living bodies, but not dead ones. Yet dead bodies can never be even partially revived by any electrical impulse. So there's nothing left of the physical body to be the source of life. Interesting. Furthermore, if we were our body alone, we would be extremely complicated physical structures and combinations of chemicals, nothing more. Logic dictates that mere chemicals or physical structures, no matter how complicated, necessarily lack creativity and free will. Even the random so-called choices that computers make must originate from an intelligent outside source. Yet computers still have no creativity nor free will. Extremely interesting. So 2 reasons make merely natural life impossible. Logically, it must be supernatural. There must be a supernatural element. We must have a spirit. And for those who believe in God, who must be spirit, why would his children be flesh robots, not sharing his spirit nature? Besides, physical bodies die only because cells deteriorate. There's no reason why spirits would deteriorate. If spirits deteriorated, God would deteriorate. And since by process of elimination, spirits enliven the body, not vice versa, spirits live on after death. To wit, life after death or an afterlife. Summarily, there not being an afterlife is illogical as squares with only 3 sides. I also believe that higher animals have spirits. How else can their free will be exercised? Science and the supernatural. Supposing that the spirit world is scientific resulted in the belief that spirits are made of physical substances such as ectoplasm, so-called ectoplasm, which facilitated attempts to weigh spirits with scales, the study of psychoacoustics, and other means of physical proof. These misguided attempts invariably fail. It's actually vital that spirits aren't subject to physical calculations, since everything physical deteriorates. For ghosts to exist, they would have to transcend science. Although spirits aren't subject to physical laws, their ability to manifest in the physical realm makes sense. Consider that some aspects of the adult world are incomprehensible to children, but adults can make themselves understandable to children. Likewise, airplanes can be temporarily driven across roads that cars use, although cars can never fly. Ghost hunting. Concerning ghost hunters, their photos of orbs have sometimes been exposed as light reflecting off dust particles and mist, including reflections and lens flare, while small temperature variations in rooms and sensations of being lightly touched are often natural, mundane phenomena. Even forceful pressing sensations can often be attributed to the body's complex composition of contracting muscles, tendons, nerves, and arteries. Electromagnetic field readers, commonly used by ghost hunters showing anomalous readings, can often be attributed to common events, such as passing aircraft causing rudimentary electrical currents. Another explanation for these anomalies could be buildings built on layers of piezoelectric material such as quartz, combined with stresses caused by shifting plates. Electronic voice phenomena, which can't be heard while tape recording but is found to have been imprinted on the tape, can also have a mundane explanation. Tape recorders and virtually anything metallic, including dental fillings, have been known to pick up radio broadcasts. And photos or videos can be inconclusive. Modern technology is a hoaxer's delight. Many things can be created or superimposed. Yet can everything be explained away? Mediums. Harry Houdini thoroughly exposed the spiritualist community of Lilydale, New York, as fraudulent in the early 20th century. Instead of disbanding, they simply discontinued the techniques that Houdini debunked and adopted different techniques. Yet tens of thousands of Americans continue flocking to Lilydale. Concerning so-called reputable mediums, they invariably state that a departed friend or family member is better off, not in a worse or boring state as would sometimes be expected. Secondly, mediums invariably claim to contact spirits from another realm much faster than we can reach living people by phone or email in the same realm. And how do they know the departed person's spirit number or address, if there are such things? Thirdly, among the mega billions of people who ever lived, there is never contact with the wrong spirit, miscommunication, or garbled communication, as would sometimes be expected. Fourthly, the departed are supposedly always happy to hear from the seeker. Moreover, the personality of 100% of departed persons harmonizes with 100% of mediums, completely violating human nature. Fifthly, most people throughout history were so old-fashioned they make today's so-called conservatives look like liberals. So if you're truly channeling spirits for years, your values would be expected to reflect theirs. Otherwise, they'd stop connecting with you. Common sense. If not, why not? Since most mediums are modernists, this alone indicates they are fake. Finally, imagine you are a spirit enjoying the company of God, angels, or other spirits. Why would you suddenly snap to attention, going far out of your way to talk to a total stranger? Logically, all mediums either prey on people for money, are egotistical attention seekers, or use wrong-headed attempts to comfort people through deception, or all three. Avoid this nonsense. Stay tuned for part 2.